The well was ancient, a relic from a time long forgotten, shrouded in whispers of forgotten magic, its presence almost ethereal in the misty dawn. He stood before it, a man consumed by darkness, his silhouette blending with the shadows. His heart held a desire, a terrible yearning he could barely admit to himself, a longing that gnawed at his very soul. To be close to them, to be surrounded by their innocence, to feel the joy and freedom he once knew. He pulled out a coin, the silver cold against his palm, a token of his desperate hope. Closing his eyes, he pictured their faces, their laughter echoing in his ears, a symphony of pure happiness. "Let me be like one of them," he whispered, his voice raspy with longing. A plea carried on the wind. "Let me be a child again, to run and laugh without a care in the world." He tossed the coin into the well, watching it disappear into the depths. He didn't notice the faint shimmer in the air as he walked away, a sign that his wish had been heard. The changes were subtle at first, almost imperceptible to the naked eye. His reflection in the mirror seemed younger, his features softer, as if time itself was reversing. He dismissed it as wishful thinking, a trick of the light, or perhaps just his imagination playing games. But the changes continued, becoming more pronounced with each passing day, each glance in the mirror revealing a younger version of himself. His clothes felt loose, his skin smoother, as if he was shedding the years like an old coat. Panic began to claw at the edges of his mind, the fear of the unknown gripping him tightly. He withdrew from the world, shunning company and avoiding his reflection, the isolation becoming his only solace. He couldn't deny it any longer, the evidence was clear and undeniable. The wish, the impossible wish, was coming true, a wish he had long forgotten. It was stripping him of his adulthood, layer by layer, until only a child remained, a haunting reminder of the power of wishes. His days were spent in the shadows of his home, a prisoner of his own twisted desire. He moved through the empty rooms like a ghost, the silence deafening. His reflection in the darkened windows was that of a teenager, then a child. He was disappearing, piece by piece. The fear was a living thing now, twisting in his gut. He was losing himself, his memories fading like old photographs. Everything he was, everything he had been, was slipping away. He woke up on the sidewalk, the sun warm on his face. He was small, his limbs thin and weak. He looked around, his heart pounding with a primal fear. Nothing looked familiar. He was lost. People passed him by, their faces a blur. A woman stopped, her brow furrowed with concern. "Are you lost, sweetie?" she asked. He could only nod, tears welling up in his eyes. "We'll find your mummy and daddy," she said, taking his hand. He was placed with a family, a loving couple with 2 daughters. He was given a new name, a new life. He was their son now, their little boy. He played with his new sisters, their laughter music to his ears. The memories of his former life faded, becoming distant echoes. He was happy, surrounded by love and laughter. Years turned into decades. He grew up, graduated high school, got a job. His adopted parents aged, their health failing. He promised to stay, to look after his sisters and their children.